Many are familiar with Shin Megami Tensei, and some have experienced the story that originated this beloved series, Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei, based on the trilogy of novels by Aya Nishitani. The story follows Akemi Nakajima and Yumiko Shirasagi, who go into the demon world to stop Lucifer's forces. Well, today I'm gonna tell you the tale of one Nakajima, one fated Nakajima that with the power of gambling and beads managed to defeat Lucifer in under 1 hour. That's right, today I'll be breaking down what makes Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei so fast and how it can be beaten in under an hour. We start by building our character stats. Nakajima is our main hitter, so all his points go into strength. There's no balanced stats in this household. Yumiko learns magic, so we put some points into vitality so she doesn't get one shot by the winds, and the rest into intelligence. Then we begin our adventure at the top of Daedalus Tower, everyone's favorite dungeon of all time. Just 8 floors of pure magic and we're at the very top, and walk straight forward to do the Jack Frost Jr. trick. This is a trick you can do if you go into a room with a treasure chest. Then leave, turn around 31 times before re-entering. Upon doing so, a Jack Frost Jr. will appear and ask you if you know his parents, and by saying yes, you receive 3000 yen, 3000 magnetite, and 10,000 EXP. This small trick prevents us from having to do any grinding in the early game. So with our newfound funds we purchase 2 combat suits, an oak suit, and a helmet, and then a dagger from the weapon store to equip Nakajima and Yumiko before we start the descent into Daedalus Tower. Our first challenge is Minotaur, so we have to recruit some demons to mitigate our chances of, death. We defeat one random encounter to actually trigger our first level up, or rather our first 18 level ups, as we obtain all that EXP earlier from Jack Frost Jr. We give Nakajima some more strength and a hearty dose of vitality, and Yumiko even more intelligence. Then we recruit based on what we encounter. Cancer, Stolas, or Lemurian are recurrent encounters that are good options. Gnome and Stolas can turn into a backup fusion later into the run, and in some routes, you also want to look for a Boggler around here. But this Nakajima is different, so he'll do none of that. On arriving on the second floor, you can head into this fixed encounter spot to recruit a Nekomata, which becomes our second healer alongside Yumiko. And then on the first floor, you recruit Cerberus, who will join you despite its higher level. It's the tankiest demon you can get at this point in the game, and it's helpful for your progress, but not vital. You can do this recruitment after getting the Silence Gem. So we walk into Minotaur's room. The core of this fight is to auto until healing is absolutely necessary. If you have Cerberus and someone dies, you can recarm them as you need both main characters to be alive and get the EXP from this fight. Then after a couple of turns, and with some luck, Minotaur falls and you obtain the Silence Gem. Though to be honest, if Nakajima dies and Yumiko gets all the EXP, that's actually also okay and would save some time, but it's too risky to try to do that. Since we're here anyways, we push on through and cross the door to Valhalla. We get a Kevlar helm from the armor store and talk to Gar, who asks us to retrieve his lost chest all the way back on the 3rd floor of the Daedalus Tower. And with that info, we teleport back to Daedalus Tower with Yumiko's power. This is one of the reasons why I put all her points into intelligence, as we want her to have access to strong healing spells, as well as Trapwort, to reduce all the back and forth necessary. But this magic strength will become even more important very soon. So back on the 8th floor, we can heal and save very quickly before taking the elevator that we just gained access to and descending to the 3rd floor. Then here, we strip our Nakajima of all his gear and walk into this fixed encounter spot to fight Bug, who promptly kills Nakajima. This is intended of course. We want to feudal all the EXP we can get to Yumiko to get her to level 23. We walk to the side room, dragging Nakajima's corpse alongside us, and forage for Gar's aforementioned shield. Then Yumiko grinds on bugs, destroying them with her strong Agilao until she gets to level 23. After maxing out her intelligence, we put her points into luck. This is because luck is actually accounted for in the equation that determines when Yumiko learns a new spell, and with just a couple of points there, we can learn Hamahan. We zoom back to the top floor and revive Nakajima, giving him back his equipment so he doesn't get wiped again anytime soon. Then we gather our forces and take the elevator to the 1st floor so we can travel back to Valhalla. We talk to Gar, and after getting his shield he lets us through to Bien. We waste no time. Our opponent is imminent, and that will be Medusa. Our tasks in this dungeon are to try to get a certain demon, Yomotsukome, so we can fuse her into another later, Though it's actually okay if we don't, because we can get a backup later if needed. And climb all the way up to defeat Medusa. We see the first hint of Yumiko's strength as we pass the door on the 3rd floor and see the first shadow. Everyone else defends and she uses Hamahan, which instantly kills it. Hamahan is a light aligned spell after all, which they are weak against. And as we climb onwards, and ignore the sign that says entrance forbidden, we face Medusa. Medusa hits hard. Every turn we defend with everyone while they still live, hoping to keep Yumiko alive as much as possible, as she uses Hamahan every turn, which deals between 50 to 60 damage. With some luck, and some luckier hits, Medusa falls and we gain another gem and the key to the city in the sky. This means another elevator opened for us. And this one is important, as we now have access to Infinite Palace, the final dungeon of the game. But there is no way we can go to Infinite Palace right away, right? We're barely level 25, and completely unequipped for the demons that await us. But that's okay, because Nakajima has a plan. We enter the city and waste no time, and go right for the slot machines. That's right, it's been 20 minutes since we departed Daedalus Tower and Nakajima has already forsaken his world-saving responsibilities to go gambling instead. We play on the slots until we reach 30,000 yen, aiming to hit the jackpot, which also gives us a free bead. Then we talk to the Elder, which nearly triples our money, and finally save. With our gambling fun, we can now purchase some solid equipment that will get us through the next section. Contrary to a normal playthrough, we are not gonna go and explore Valhalla, the next dungeon. We are gonna go talk to the captain, and head straight to Infinite Palace. So before we stop by the armor shop and stock up on gear, the goal is to just survive a couple of steps in Infinite Palace, so we can enter the armor store there and finish our shopping by giving Nakajima the Aura armor, the strongest armor in the game. So we get on our flying ship, take the elevator down and brave the blue walls of the palace. Luckily, we make it to the store and now we're a bit more protected to continue descending down the corridors. On our way to the 1st floor, we grab a herb which has the Estoma effect, and before we know it, we are zooming past the 1st floor to enter the rotting sea of flames. The encounters here are somehow even worse than in Infinite Palace, and getting past them requires a stroke of luck. But this is Nakajima we are talking about, and luck needs him instead. That kinda doesn't make any sense. We take the stairs down and rush past the rotation tiles to grab Roof's bottle. Then we transport back to Bien. It's time to get the Hinoagu sushi. It is still not entirely known what is required to get the Hinoagu sushi, but experience has shown us that having a strength value that summed up with our level equals 45 is usually enough. So our Nakajima is ready to take the elevator to the 4th floor of Bien and get past the fake door to explore the outer walls. After taking down the Zoma, we fall back to the 1st floor underground and climb all the way up to grab the Hinoagu sushi. And now we're unstoppable. Or we will be once we grind a little. We're way too weak to fight Lucifer right now, so we go back to that tile where Zoma tried to stop us to get some levels. We let Yumiko die to funnel all the XP to Nakajima and fight Zomas over and over until we reach level 54. Then we head to the city again to fuse Thor, our companion against the Lord of the Demon World. You're probably wondering, what about the White Dragon Orb? You're gonna go get the White Dragon Orb right now, right? So for those who have played this game, you might know that the White Dragon Orb blocks Lucifer's Yarahan, the skill that can fully heal him during the fight. But it seems, according to a recent discovery in the speedrunning community, that Lucifer's Yarahan actually does not heal him back to full health. It seems to heal him around 500 HP, which is still a lot, but not nearly the entirety of his health. And after a couple of times it just stops working. The AI also doesn't spam Yarahan until Lucifer is fully healed. It uses it somewhat arbitrarily. So a normal runner will probably just take the detour and grab the White Dragon Orb to not deal with the chance of the fight being made slower than it needs to be. But this is Gambler Nakajima, and Gambler Nakajima takes all the chances he can get. So Nakajima runs around Bien for a while to make sure that he can get the moon cycle to 1 out of 8 ascending, and uses the Estoma herb. Now we're ready to face Lucifer. So we climb the harsh bloody walls of the Red Tower, and due to the Estoma herb we used earlier, all we need to face are Asuras and Zomas, which we deal with easily. And before we know it, we're on the top floor of the tower, carefully maneuvering the holes on the floor to face the door that leads us to Lucifer. Lucifer. Let me tell you guys about Lucifer. Lucifer has 2292 HP, and it's not easy to get through it. He has Curse, which is an instant kill spell that can hit any of your party members at any point, and we have nothing to protect ourselves against it. With Yumiko barely leveled up and most likely dead, if Nakajima gets hit by Curse, it's over just like that. Then he'll also regularly attack with Bufudyne, which can hit multiple times, and just one-shot you if you get unlucky. So this is the ultimate gamble. We summon Thor to use Tarukaja 4 times, and start attacking with all we got. This battle is a race to the end. We just have to kill him before he can kill us with his attacks or curse. For healing, we use the beads that we were lucky enough to obtain at the casino earlier, so we gotta be fast too, otherwise we'll run out of healing options. And then we just auto and pray. Most of the time you're just gonna die against Lucifer. He's unforgiving and relentless, and this is a common experience for Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei speedrunners. But there was one Nakajima that dodged just enough curses and had just enough beads that he laid the final hit on Lucifer and managed to escape Infinite Palace with Yumiko and Cerberus at a timely 47 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm always baffled by how fast this game can be beaten. The fact that the entire Valhalla and Mercury Corridor sections are basically optional is such a stark difference with many RPGs nowadays, so I find it a fascinating game. As much as it gets a reputation for its brutal jump in difficulty, I'd recommend everyone to experience Daedalus Tower at least once. So that was it for Gambler Nakajima. But for those of you who are wondering and actually enjoy Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei and would like some more information about the speedrun, let me show you some other facts. So most runners don't run the casino route, the one that I just showcased. They run a different route that instead of doing the casino and getting this super strong armor, in Infinite Palace grabs 2 pieces of armor, the Daphne's Crown and the Fog Armor for Yumiko and Nakajima respectively. They also do 2 more things. They fuse an extra demon called Alrune, or Alrane, I always have a hard time pronouncing it, to then fuse Thor with Alrane into Ganesha. Ganesha is a pretty strong demon that can help us with Tarukaja, but it has another big pro, which is something that the casino route skips completely, which is getting Rick. Rick is a demon that is imprisoned in Valhalla, and whose soul we are obligated to get in the Rotting Sea of Flames. This is absolutely required, we cannot skip the Rotting Sea of Flames in the speedrun. So the casino route gets the bottled soul anyways, but doesn't use it. The other route gets it and returns Rick's soul to him. In return, he turns into a strong demon, and which demon he turns to depends on which is the highest level demon in your party. So if you have Ganesha in your party, you'll get Odin. Odin is very strong, it can really help with Lucifer's fight, and also has Diarahan, so he helps us with healing. So most runners will choose to run this route instead because it's much safer and more reliable. Even then, you're still probably gonna die to Lucifer, but it is certainly safer, and you can actually heal without having beads. Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei has had a surge of popularity in speedrun, so if you're interested in this game, make sure to check out all the runners. It's quite a fun game, but other than that, that was it for me today. Thank you for watching, and comment down below if you've ever played the DS Megami Tensei or Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei 1. See ya!